Now I'm here with the Mad Dog Ross Casey, and I'm Jake Johns. He's always been on excellent form, but he got 6 from 9 last week, 66.6% strike rate. You won't find much better than that. We always find winners here, so let's kick it off with a game at White Hart Lane between Spurs and Man City. I mean, Spurs kind of got it together a bit. Man City were really good at the start of the season and lost away a little bit recently, but they were really good again midweek. So, what do you reckon?
Yes, as you say, this is a meeting of two teams who had differing elements in their Carling Cup games, where Spurs managed to lose their North London game against Arsenal to 2 strikes from Matteo Flamini, which is just somewhat unbelievable. There was one person out there who tipped a double for Flamini. Well done, sir, because that's just insane.
I literally can't believe someone bet on that. I think they must have made it up.
Yeah, so I always try and find the best value possible in these tips, and I do believe that Man City will win this match, but at 19 to 20 I think that's a little bit short, so I'm going to go for Aguero to score at any time. He loves playing against Tottenham. In 7 matches he's managed to score 10 goals. In those 7 matches he's only failed to score against Spurs once, so Hugo Lloris absolutely hates playing against Man City. Hugo Lloris has conceded 17 goals in 5 matches against Man City at a rate of 1 goal every 26 minutes. So I'm sure that he's not looking forward to this fixture, and that's with good reason. Man City have scored 27 goals in the last 8 games against Tottenham. 27 goals in the last 8 games against Spurs, which for Spurs fans I'm sure they'll be quaking in their boots, even though they've got their new hotshot Heung-min Son from Leverkusen, who's been very, very good. Harry Kane is not shooting on all cylinders yet to score a goal this season. So for those reasons, I will be backing a Man City player to score, and that player is going to be Sergio Aguero. He's only scored 2 goals this season, one against Chelsea and one against Sunderland. 2 differing types of teams there also. So Sergio Aguero 13 to 10 to get back into form up against the team that he loves to play against in Tottenham Hotspur at 13 to 10 is my tip of the day there.
He's been still playing really well without scoring, though, I think. So
yeah,
at some point he's going to score
absolutely
5 goals in 10 minutes. Anyway, next game up, we've got Newcastle against Chelsea. Steve McLaren struggling massively at Newcastle. Chelsea starting to come back to form. What do you reckon?
Well, I've got some good news for Newcastle fans here. The last 3 matches that you've played at St James's Park against Chelsea, you've won every single time. And listen to this, Jake. Jose Mourinho has not won at only 2 Premier League grounds, the Emirates Stadium and St James's Park. And that's the exact reason why I'm saying that Newcastle won't win. Newcastle, I'm really sorry, but this season they've just been dreadful, haven't they? Steve McLaren can't seem to get the best out of them.
They can't score a goal.
They can't score a goal. Here's a few stats for you about Newcastle. They've only won 1 of their last 17 Premier League matches. If the season started in March, when that run started, and they would be pretty much certain to go down. They're actually second favourites to go down at the moment at best price 3 to 2. But looking back at just for this game, there's more reasons for you to say that they probably won't win this game. They've scored the fewest goals in the Premier League this season. They've had the fewest shots this season, and a glimmer of hope, I guess, is that Diego Costa is out for Chelsea because of his just impishness, really, from the match against Arsenal. But listen to this stat. He's not played in 12 Premier League games since he's joined Chelsea. Chelsea haven't lost any of those games, so they don't tend to miss him when he's actually gone.
Yeah.
So those are my reasonings, and unfortunately, Newcastle fans, I'm going to have to say that I think that with the fact that you're failing to score goals and just not very good, Chelsea are going to win this game to 0 at a best price of 9 to 5. That's a pretty decent price for a Chelsea team that have only let in 1 goal in the last 2 games. Now they seem to have sorted out their defensive frailties, but they still seem to be playing Branislav Ivanovic, even though he's looked terrible, even against the likes of Walsall last night. So that could be one way in for them, but I'm going to back Chelsea to win to 0 at 9 to 5 in that one.
That's a really good price, 9 to 5. They're not going to score a goal. There's no way. Unless Ivanovic scores a diving header into his own net.
It could happen.
And the games only get better. The next one, Watford Palace.
Watford Palace, yeah.
What a game.
What a game. The last time that these two teams met was actually 2013 in the Championship playoff final, where Kevin Phillips scored the penalty that made Crystal Palace a Premier League team. So Watford will be out for revenge in this one, but I do think that Crystal Palace are the value here. 107 to 50 is their best price with Marathon Bet. They've turned into an absolutely excellent away side with their counter-attacking threat with the likes of Yannick Bolasie, Bakary Sakho, Jason Punch and Wilfried Zaha, all players with absolute pace. It really suits their counter-attacking game, and that's why they've won 5 of their last 7 away from home. Watford have won 2 on the bounce, and they're doing better than many predicted as they made such wholesale changes to their team.
Yeah.
It's a whole new team for them pretty much from last season. Apart from Igalo up front, who actually looks value here also as a side bet of anytime goal scorer, 23 to 10. No player in the top 4 leagues in England has scored more goals in 2015 than Odion Igalo. 20 goals in 24 games in 2015 calendar year for him. And 23 to 10 looks a pretty decent price for a player who scored twice last week against lowly Newcastle. But yeah, also to add to this, Palace have won 6 of their last 9 against up against Watford. And Watford, listen to this weird stat, they've only played 8 games in the Premier League on a Sunday and only won once. So it seems like Sundays are not the best days to be a Hornet. But so those are my reasons for backing Crystal Palace in this game at 107 to 50 with Marathon Bet.
Nice. They hate Sundays.
They hate Sundays.
They absolutely hate
Sundays.
They just want roast dinner. Next up, we got West Brom, super tight defensively, against Everton. What do you reckon is going to happen here?
Well, yeah, you have actually kind of said exactly what I think will happen here. West Brom, brilliantly defensive under Tony Pulis. Since Tony Pulis has taken over West Brom, no team has kept more clean sheets than them in that period of time. It's 14 in total. That's absolutely incredible, and that's what Tony Pulis does. He sets his team up to not lose games, and they tend not to lose many, West Brom. But I think the best bet here is actually both teams to score no, basically answering no to that question. 47 to 50 odds on price, just a shade under evens, which I think is a pretty good bet here. Everton have kept 3 successive clean sheets away from home, so they're looking like they're pretty defensively stout. But they've also failed to score in 3 of the last Premier League games. So up against a West Brom team who have kept 3 clean sheets in a row, it looks like goals will be at a premium on both ends. And I think both teams to score no is a decent price there at 47 to 50. And that's my best bet for that match.
Yeah, Lukaku's looking not good, is he?
Recently. Although I do love to back players to score against their former teams, and he is playing up against his former lone side. But yeah, so that's my tip of the day in that one. 47 to 50 in the Monday Night Football game. Both teams not to score. Palace to beat Watford at 170 to 50 because Watford do not like playing on Sundays. Chelsea to win to 0 at a best price of 9 to 5 because Newcastle are not very good at football, and Sergio Aguero to score any time at 13 to 10 because he absolutely loves playing in London against Spurs. So that's my tips for this weekend. Thanks for joining me, Jake.
No worries.
And we'll be back next week with our predictions, and we're hoping for another profitable week just like last week. All the best.